Hi class, this is Jacob Edwards with my business Forged Filament. We are presenting our extended pitch. Forged Filament is a 3D printing service. That means that rather than sell 3D printed items, we mainly focus on our service as a printing business. So you bring us your designs and we'll charge you a small fee to print them out for you. 3D printing is kind of a new technology for consumers. We need to educate people as to how to think about 3D and why they should be using 3D. So 3D printing is a really cheap way to make customized items. When items are mass produced, there's usually a mold and a whole manufacturing process built around them. With 3D printing, it's very easy to take an existing design, say if it was a wedding ornament or a wedding favor, and add that party's last name and date to that item. It's very easy to customize. If you already are a designer or have friends who are 3D designing or have money to hire a 3D designer, there's almost endless possibilities for what you can create with 3D printing. Now, if you don't have a 3D designing friend or you aren't a 3D designer, there are plenty of websites out there that offer free models. Some of the free model websites, quality is not as high, but they're free. So there's paid websites out there where you can buy a model, and models can range anywhere from $5 to $10, and it can hit upwards of $80 to $100 for even high quality, very rare models. One of the main websites that we use is called Thingiverse, and we will push our users towards using this website. So we need to educate our customers on the website Thingiverse and how they can use it. We've created a contact form where users can get a free quote. So they can either go to the free quote webpage, or they can, if they're a recurring customer and they already know the process, they can just shoot us an email at forgedfilament@gmail.com. So on our form, there's room for contact information, subject line. If they want to order a sample, the sample's going to be a predetermined sample, so this is more for first-time customers. And then if they have a design already picked out, they can enter it here. If not, in the message, they could ask us for suggestions. But if they have a design already picked out, then the message box would be used to let us know what color they want, or to see if we have that color. We have over 30 colors, so it's hard to kind of list them all out, as well as show the users exactly what that color looks like. So we're requesting that users email us kind of a generic blue that they're interested in, and then we can respond with several choices that they can choose from for blue. And we plan on getting back to customers as a priority, and we will shoot for 24 hours response time for their quotes. We kind of want to educate our customers on what a good 3D model is. Our 3D printers are called fused deposition models, and those basically lay a single layer of plastic down at a time. And so what happens if there's nothing below that layer of plastic is you get what's called bridging. So if you look in this eye, what happens is the layers get built on top of each other, but if it's more than like 45-degree overhang, the model has trouble printing. So we ask that our users go to, if they have Windows 10, to go to the Start menu and then search for 3D Viewer. This is a built-in Windows 10 application that lets users preview their designs. They can use this before they submit to us. And also sometimes Thingiverse will allow you to use their 3D Viewer on the model's webpage. Now, if you look at this model, you can definitely see that there's a lot of overhang. There's nothing below this chin to support any plastic. You can see that some of these branches are kind of a really steep overhang. These would probably print out without overhangs on our printer, but if somebody sent us this model, we would take it and we'd write back to them with some suggestions and saying, hey, this model will have supports under these locations, and it may add an additional increase of 30 cents to $1 to print the extra plastic underneath them. Would you like to do that? So with our 3D printing service, we we'll print anything that anybody wants, but we'll make suggestions because we have a guarantee of only failure rates on our part. If it's due to the model's part, that's not anything that's out of our control. So we'll try to offer suggestions on how to best print out the model. And if somebody ignores those, then if the print fails, then that print failure was going to be part of their cost. At our shop, we have 3 printers right now. A Prusa MK3, which is a 8.5 by 8.5 by 8.5 build volume. It can print in PLA plastic or PETG. Those are 2 kind of everyday plastics. PETG is a harder plastic for kind of more functional use if you were making a knob that was going to be used, or anything that was going to get heavy everyday use. PETG is kind of more for decoration, so you can see the dragon in this picture. You'd probably use PLA for that. PETG would work, but PLA is just it's just cheaper material, so we use it for more kind of everyday display objects. Our second printer is also a Prusa MK3, but in this image you can see that there's an attachment up top. The attachment allows us to use up to 5 colors, different colors, presumably, on a model. So you can see on this printer, Mr. Crab has been printed out from SpongeBob SquarePants. You can see that his eyes are yellow, black, and white. His body is, I'm colorblind, so sorry for this, a pink/red, and then he has a pinker tongue, and then his pants are blue. So the multi-material unit just really allows us to kind of branch out there and set our shop apart from other people. It's not every 3D, most 3D printers don't have the capability to print in multiple colors. So by having this capability, we're really setting ourselves as a new standard. And then the Prusa SL1 is a printer we have on pre-order. It should be shipping in the next week. And this printer is a different kind of 3D printing process. So the other 2 printers use spools of plastic that get fed down kind of like a hot glue gun into a nozzle, and that squirts out the plastic. The Prusa SL1 uses a vat of resin that a build plate is lowered down into, and then the printer uses an LCD screen to cure that resin, and then we'll slowly move up the build plate and then do a new layer. So every time the printer build plate moves up, it does a whole level at one time. So if we look at Mr. Krabby Patty and the dragon, all of those layers had to be done as the nozzle moved around the bed. So the bed moves back and forth and the nozzle goes left to right. So it takes a very long time to do a single layer. With the SL1, it doesn't matter how wide or deep the print is. A layer finishes in the same amount of time always. The real determination for how long a print will take on the SL1 will be how tall it is, because that's how many times the print bed will have to raise. Also, because of this printing process, the details are a lot finer. So generally, you measure the resolution of a 3D print in millimeters, and generally on FDM printers, you're looking at maybe a maximum, if you were really pushing your printer, of 0.05 millimeters. On the Prusa SL1, our maximum minimum, so if we pushed our printer, the smallest layer height we would have would be a 0.01 millimeter. So that's 5 times as fine as the FDM Prusa MK3. That's just really going to mean that those layer lines disappear on those printed models, and you're barely going to be able to see anything with your naked eye. We also wanted to show off kind of some of our prints. It makes more sense when you see what we can do. So on the left, you can see our printed figurines that are from pop culture. We subscribe to a designer on a website called Patreon. Patreon is a website where kind of any artist or person can create a page, and then users can subscribe to different tiers on their page and get different rewards. So we subscribe to a tier that throughout the month we get 1 to 2 new mini figurines that are multi-material. So you can see that so far we've printed out a mini Ghostbuster figurine, And we have also printed Iron Man, Spock from Star Trek, and Captain America. On the right, you can see a premium blue filament that we've used. It's a very shiny, deep blue metallic. This picture doesn't quite do it justice. It's just kind of a picture that shows this scale out what we normally print and the quality. It's a very close-up picture. We are running a promo right now where you can receive a free quote, which will probably continue to the future, as well as a $2 sample. So we want to make sure that not everyone has seen 3D prints. We want to make sure that people have the opportunity to see it in their hands before they kind of make that purchase. In this advertisement, you can see that we've printed a dragon, a multicolor dragonfly, and then the bottom is just differing kinds of succulent planters. We use those for our own personal wedding as wedding favors. So if you still have more questions about forged filament, we'd love to answer them. We have our own personal blog for our website, as well as a YouTube channel where we post interesting time lapses of our 3D printers printing. We'd love to hear from you, so please be sure to check us out.